So I played Kane and Lynch 1 and 2. It was an experience, and you know how I normally state my opinion on the game at the beginning of the video? Well, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm not going to be like, I like this game, or I rage quit and hated this game or anything. I'm simply going to start talking about Kane and Lynch 1 Dead Men. And first things first, I definitely played this game, and it definitely was 4.5 hours of my life. Not saying anything positive or negative about it. These are just simply facts. I don't even know where to start with this game. Like, do I start with the story or gameplay or the characters or what? You know what? I'm just going to make this review as chaotic and as all over the place as possible to fit, let's say, the feeling of these games. So, in this game, you play as Kane, and the game starts with Kane being broken out of prison. He was on death row and was being transported somewhere, and the transport was interrupted. And it turns out that Lynch, the man on the cover and also the man sitting next to you on the transport, is breaking you out of prison, right? So you fight a shit ton of cops in the process, like a metric ton of cops. Like 3,000 families were devastated because of this one dipshit Kane who was apparently important enough to rescue from prison. Anyway, you go through the level, you end up entering a getaway van, and look, that guy has like 3 bullet holes in his head. So, like, you get to this place, and apparently you were broken out of prison by this group called the Seven, and apparently Kane used to be part of the Seven or worked with them and left them to die or some shit. And basically Kane has some stuff hidden somewhere, and we're never really told what that stuff is, but we know it's in a briefcase, and Kane has to go get it. And he says he knows where it is, so that's cool. And that's our task. Some crazy stuff going on in this AAA title, Kane and Lynch Dead Men. So anyway, apparently Lynch is like your guardian angel. He's there to make sure you don't pull something and try to run away or anything. And the fun thing is that Lynch is all like, I am the authority figure. And then Kane is like, no, you do what I say because I know where the stuff is. So that's fun. Another thing of note is that the game has this like crew system. You can command people to do 3 things: follow me, go there, and attack. And the attack one is the only one that doesn't make sense to me, because sometimes it means stay here and shoot the thing, and other times it means run aimlessly towards the enemy, do nothing, and die immediately. Very inconsistent, but I bet everything in this game was thought out and tested thoroughly. Other thing of note is that Lynch takes out a prescribed medicine bottle, pops a pill, and goes, oh, it's just for my stomach. Keep this in mind for later. So Kane is all like, I know where the briefcase is, and Lynch is like, okay, let's get it. So they meet up with an old lockpicking buddy of Kane's, and you can tell that they're friends because they have matching bald spots, you know, like most friends do. You sneak into the building, start shooting people and all that jazz, and then you send Lynch to watch the hostages, right? So after we split up to search for clues, you and the lockpicking guy go downstairs to get into the cartoonishly large vault, and you spend a while cracking into the vault. In the meantime, police security men come downstairs to kill you, and they throw tear gas downstairs. And I guess because tear gas impairs your vision, Kane fails to throw the grenades back, so he just doesn't get seeing privileges for a while. After that, we get into the vault and find out that the briefcase isn't there. Oops. So we go to get Lynch and escape, and Lynch has gone crazy and is actively killing all of the hostages. It turns out that Lynch has what I assume to be schizophrenia. The game doesn't outright tell you though, but if you're playing co-op, the player playing as Lynch will see things and stuff, so that's cool. When playing this, I was just thinking, why would the Seven put that guy in charge of Kane? Wouldn't they want someone who actually does a good job? And then while editing, I realized that they still want Kane dead, so like I'm not too sure how much they really actually want the stuff from Kane. They're probably just expecting Lynch to kill him. Anyway, there's a couple more things I wanted to talk about in detail before I start skipping past stuff to save time. One of them has to do with Lynch. In the next level, you kidnap a powerful man's daughter, who, side note, looks different in the final game and in the trailer. And the reason is that the powerful man has Kane's briefcase. In the level after that, you have a small team consisting of you, 2 random Japanese men, Lynch, and the hostage. The idea is that you're going to meet with the powerful guy to negotiate for the briefcase, and for some stupid reason, Kane takes the 2 Japanese men and leaves Lynch with the hostage. Why? I still can't get my head around this. I can get why the writers did this. It was to force a story to continue, and this was the easiest way. And to no surprise, Lynch kills the daughter lady, and now the powerful guy and the 7 want you dead. So that's that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the rest of the level for that heist mission. After Lynch kills all the hostages, you get into a getaway van and are being chased by police, and oopsie, the back doors to the van fall off, so you have to shoot at the police cars. And this was easily the most buggy part of the game. I was playing the game in a Discord call with friends and let these few clips speak for themselves.
Just cut overhead costs and like you can't. Dude, I'm watching this chasing. This is crazy right now.
Did you see that guy come through the van? The fuck was that?
This is the most scuffed game I've ever seen in my life.
That is wild.
What?
It'd be like,
This game sucks. Okay, so after that, here are the key story points. You escape from the powerful man's goons he sends after you when Lynch kills the daughter lady. And then the 7 call time on your stopwatch to find the stuff they wanted, and they do 2 things. They reveal that they lied to Lynch about his part of the deal, and they dig a grave not only for Kane, but for his family, his wife, who hates his guts, and his daughter, Jenny. Something I didn't really talk about is how Kane's only motivation to do anything in this game is his family. The 7 threaten him with the idea of them dying at the beginning. Then this part comes around and, spoiler alert, they shoot his wife. And then Jenny, Kane's daughter, if you forgot, runs off by herself, and Kane's motivation from then until the end of the game is to kill the 7 and powerful man so that they don't go after his daughter to get to him. Anyway, so after that and an awful boss fight, shown here by how many times I died, Kane goes to break his crewmates out of prison. Kane then rounds them up and goes after the powerful man by breaking into his skyscraper tower, and this is the demo for the game and also the big set piece that they show in the trailer. Kane kills the powerful guy and takes his briefcase back. Then you go after the 7 who are in Venezuela, I think, trying to overthrow the government. And here's some more footage of deaths from an awful sequence that throws both an army of enemies with mounted turrets that kill you almost immediately and a helicopter that one-shots you at you at the same time.
Depending on the... Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna break my controller. Kane gets to the capital where the 7 are supposed to be, and all of them ran except for one named Carlos, who promises to lead you to them again. And Kane trusts him because they used to be good friends. So Kane goes with Carlos into the forest where someone says a sentence about how sad it is that one of Kane's crewmates died, and then you sit there wondering when that happened and who it was, because either the game is so mindless that you didn't pay attention, or the game is so bad at conveying things that it slipped my focus. Wait, one of the guys died? I guess one of the guys died, but I didn't notice at all. Anyway, you find the 7's base where Carlos hatches a plan to take one of the mines from somewhere. It was just kind of laying around, to have Kane shoot it, breaking the door and giving them an in into the base. Well, Carlos betrays you and meets up with the 7 again, and shock and surprise and awe, they have Jenny, Kane's daughter if you forgot, in the base. So you stealthily and tactically blow up and shoot everything in sight until you get to meet up with the 7 again. Jenny and the 7 are in this room you enter, but now the 7 is only like 2 or something guys because they killed Carlos. Whatever. How convenient that they left the mine Carlos was holding next to his corpse. You shoot the mine, one of the 2 guys from the 7 takes Jenny, and Kane chases after him in a super crazy, kooky, awesome, thrilling, sick sequence where you are on a turret in the back of the car, and it's definitely new and doesn't remind you of playing Time Crisis at the arcade. You catch up with the plane that the guy was trying to escape with and accidentally shoot Jenny. You shoot the guy and save Jenny. The game then poses you with a choice. Do you escape with Jenny right then and there, or do you save the rest of your crew that you left behind to chase this plane? I chose the latter. So Kane goes into a village and he finds his crew, but All except for one are dead, and when the cutscene ends, the game glitches out and spawns 20 enemies on the same location at once, so you die. But then in your next life, you live and hatch a plan to escape on some boats. You get through the village and reach the docks, where that crew member who survived dies because one of the boats explodes, and Jenny gets shot. Jenny's Kane's dog. So you pick her up, get on a boat, and escape with Lynch, who loudly proclaims that he hates Kane. Wow. What an ending to a game. Definitely did not feel short or abrupt at all, and Kane was definitely a fleshed out character. I want to see more of Kane in the next game, Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. Anyway, I didn't like this game. Very bad. In fact, while editing, I marked some of the times I said I hate this game or this game sucks, but the audio wasn't good enough to include in the video. But yeah, I hated this game, and it did not stand the test of time. In fact, one of the people I was in Discord with while playing the game had this to say, and I think it rings true.
So everybody said that was a bad game. Like, it came out and people played it and they're like, yeah, this is universally a shit game.
Yeah?
Oh, okay. So
Oh, I thought
you're
you were going somewhere. Okay.
No, I am. I'm like, so you're just gonna so you're reviewing it and you're like,
Yeah.
you're just confirming it. Like, even through the years, this game just never got better.
Yeah. It did not age like wine.
Okay.
All right, on to the sequel. So back in the good old days of 2010, when this game came out, I remember hearing a lot of negative things about this game. I heard things like, oh, this game's aesthetic sucks, and the camera makes me nauseous, and why are you in my bathroom stall? I don't care about whatever Kane and Lynch 2 is. Can you please leave? So obviously all the sentiments were bad, right? Well, I'm going to break my rule from the beginning of the video and say that I actually really enjoy this game. I kind of love it. I will agree the whole camera makes me nauseous thing is a thing, but look at this. If you don't sprint, the camera doesn't bob around and give you a tummy ache. Anyway, I guess we will go to the story. So you start with a cutscene of Lynch and a woman on the couch. It's nice, it's cozy, it's great. It turns out that sometime after the first game, Lynch moved to Shanghai and started a new life and met a woman named Zhu, who he loves? No, yeah, he loves her. Anyway, after the positive circumstances that they left on, Lynch invites Kane to Shanghai for a gun deal. But first, Lynch needs to talk to this guy named Brady. So naturally, he opens the door and Brady does the classic shoot your gun to signify you are not in fact ready and we're not expecting company thing that all of us do. So you chase after Brady, and while you do that, some text pops up in your face and you have to do what it says to get it to go away. Then you catch up with Brady and Kane just shoots his girl, you know. He just saw an opportunity to shoot a woman, so he does. True story. Anyway, Brady slits his throat and the next level starts. The next level begins with Kane and Lynch sitting in the back of a limo listening to an old British geezer explain the job that they're supposed to do. Something about getting guns to Africa. Anyway, the limo is attacked and Kane and Lynch get out of the limo to protect it and shoot a bunch of people. Real quick, I wanted to praise the game's aesthetic. You heard me right, praise it. I think that, first of all, the VHS look they're going for is done exceptionally well. If there are lights or bright neon signs, the light will bleed into the camera lens, if that makes sense, and explosions and stuff. The game kind of pixelates the smoke, and when you shoot people in the head, the game censors it out, and even if people are naked, like the girl in the beginning, they censor it out. It feels like it's being shown to a jury or something, and they had to censor things out that people would find disturbing. And meanwhile, Kane and Lynch are shooting and killing people all over the place. I don't know why they did it, but it's a nice touch. Also, when you get shot, it shows up as blood on the camera lens, but it's done in a way where it makes everything temporarily confusing, which I think lends to the really gritty and pretty realistic tone that the game is going for. But anyway, you go through a whole set piece where you save Glazer from his limo because a truck flipped it over. And you get out of the public, and by the end of the level, every character you're with is basically thinking, what the fuck is going on? Why is everyone trying to kill us? Which is good storytelling etiquette. Something that the first game didn't do was let us in on what Kane was thinking. Basically, from what I've seen in video games and movies and stuff, there are two main ways to do this. You either have an inner dialogue for the character that pops in with like narration every once in a while, or you have the main character figuring out everything at the same time as the audience. And therefore, the character and the audience are asking the same questions at the same time. And as a result, this makes us feel more connected to the character we are playing, and they did this exact thing in Kane and Lynch 2 and not in the first one, which makes 2 better with the story and everything. Those are my main points for like how the game feels and stuff. I guess I'll do the same thing I did for the end of 1, where I go through like the story beats. So here we go. Alright, so after that, the cops get involved and you escape with Glazer in a getaway van. Glazer comes up with the idea to go talk to a guy named Singh, who is like a big guy in the scummy illegal business that Kane and Lynch are part of. You take like 4 people to Singh's and shoot some people, and you end up finding Singh. He tells you that we shot the wrong girl, which confuses Lynch, but he elaborates. The girl that Kane shot in the fish market at the beginning, she was this guy named Shang-Chi's daughter. Not Shang-Chi, alright? Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a big
government official. The most dangerous type in the whole of fucking China.
He's got a lot of power and even controls the cops, who are like all corrupt. Crazy how cops are corrupt in this universe. I can't imagine that being true in our universe. So because Singh talks about this in front of the 4 guys you took with you, those 4 guys completely turn on you. You have to kill them and then escape the cops, and you do. So you stand around explaining to Kane who Shang-Chi is while calling Zhu, and she doesn't pick up. So what do 2 individuals being hunted down by a bent government official do? They go out to eat, of course, have a nice meal. The equivalent of the SWAT in China interrupt your meal, and you fight through their attack. You escape and go to Zhu's apartment. You want to get her so that you can take her out of the city to lay low for a while, and she wasn't answering her phone, so you went to her apartment. When you get there, the door is open, and you go in, and she isn't there. You go through her apartment, and Zhu is in the building across the street. You spend a bit keeping her safe from the men in white. Then Singh gets a hold of her, and Kane aims a gun at Singh, who has a knife to Zhu's neck. I think it was a knife. As a way of trying to save her, but also because of panic, Lynch elbows Kane in the ear. The level ends and you wake up naked in a dumpster covered in cuts. I lied about the beginning of the game. It starts with a snippet of video where you are naked sitting next to Kane covered in cuts, and he goes, and then a hard cuts to 2 days earlier title screen. Anyway, you find Kane again, killed Singh, and you escape the place they took you to. So now Kane and Lynch are a bunch of cut up naked oafs running around the streets of Shanghai. And this begs the question, is the gun deal still on? So Lynch has a breakdown because Zhu is dead, and they move through Shanghai some more and meet with Glazer again. Glazer gives them clothes, I think, and then Glazer turns on Kane and Lynch because he can't compete with Shang-Chi, and Lynch hunts him down, and while talking to him, Glazer gets shot in the head by a sniper. Uh-oh, so now the real shit starts. You fight the cops some more, like for a long time, like through a shipping place and a bunch of warehouses, and then Kane and Lynch hatch this plan to get out of Shanghai on a train. So they find a train and it stops moving, and the cops capture you. So the next level starts in a helicopter. I'll give you a millisecond to guess what it is. It's a turret section. So you commandeer the helicopter you're in by kicking one of the soldiers out of the chopper, and you shoot up Shang-Chi's building. You crash land on the building, and you go through it shooting people, and then you finally find Shang-Chi. You have a nice little chat while Lynch points a gun at him, and then Lynch just fucking shoots him in the head because he was sick of all the deals that people are offering them, which were then turning to shit. So Lynch's consciousness moves to Kane's body for some reason. It was originally cut content, but they needed a way to explain your sudden change to playing as Kane. Anyway, Kane and Lynch venture out to an airport in the hopes that they can find a plane to escape on. They, and you're not going to believe this, they shoot people to get through the airport, and they make it to a plane.
Get inside!
The game ends with the plane taking off. So, like I already said, I love this game. I think the gameplay is great and the story is alright. I kind of think the story is a shoehorn to get to the gameplay, but it's still 1,000 times better than the first game. The only thing that I have to say that's bad is that the game is really short, like it's 4 hours long. But what's there is great, in my opinion. Also, I never really mentioned this before, but you remember how Lynch had schizophrenia in the first game? Well, it seems he got it under control when he went to Shanghai. But during shootouts and stuff, if you're paying attention, you can catch Lynch muttering to himself. Stuff like, keep it together, you got this, you're fine. And I think it really adds to the game. You'll be in a restaurant fighting off these overly prepared cops, and the wooden walls will be breaking, and people are shooting at you, and in between the magazines that the cops are unloading in your direction, you'll hear Lynch muttering to himself and trying to keep it together and not black out. But yeah, that is my retro review of the Kane and Lynch series. The first game sucks. The first game is awful. Do not play it. It does not hold up at all. The second game is worth checking out if you were at all interested in the small gameplay segments that I showed.
Why the fuck did you bring
Okay.
up I'm sorry.
Recent reviews, mostly positive.
I'm so mad right now.
Hold on. So this guy gave it a positive review and somehow has 26 hours on it. I have 6.
How the fuck do you have 20? Bro. There's no, unless you played that game on hard mode. I don't know how he has 26 hours on that shit. That's
Shooting feels off at first, but as you progress, you get a feel for the weapon. That's kind of true. But it does not become a total joy.
What? Dude, no, the shooting in that game looked horrific. Literally looked horrific. The moment you ran, like, people were running by you and you missed every shot. Like, I don't...
Unlike other series in which you play as bad guys who ultimately tend to do the right thing, Kane and Lynch are 100% scumbags. That is true.
I feel like I took it. Jesus.
The graphics are pretty mediocre.
You know what? I don't mind the graphics in that game. It's not that bad.
The levels you play in are more than interesting enough to make up for it.
No, they're not. The levels are drawn out.
Overall, this is a solid game with few flaws that stand out.